Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Today we are going to discuss the determinants of GFR and what are the factors which affect the GFR. As I already mentioned that GFR means glomerular filtration rate. What is glomerular filtration rate? You already know that both of your kidneys together contain around 2 million nephrons. So what is the structure of this nephron is that the afferent and efferent arterioles have a capillary bed between them, and this capillary bed is known as glomerulus or glomerular capillary bed. And around the glomerulus we have an epithelial tube or a cup shaped structure which is known as Bowman's capsule, and this Bowman capsule then extends into the proximal convoluted tubule and then the loop of Henle and then the distal convoluted tubule, so on. But the filtration actually takes place at the space between the glomerular capillaries and the Bowman capsule. So when the blood enters the glomerular capillaries through the afferent arterioles, it is filtered into the Bowman capsule, and the amount of fluid which is filtered per minute is around 125 ml. So you can say that the GFR or glomerular filtration rate of both your kidneys is around 125 ml per minute, and this amounts to a huge sum of 180 liters per day. आपको ये दोनों वैल्यूज़ आनी चाहिए. आपकी दोनों किडनीज के नेफ्रॉन्स मिलकर अराउंड 125 ml पर मिनट या 180 लीटर्स पर डे फ्लूइड जो है उसको फिल्टर करते हैं. And this is a very huge amount. Imagine 180 liters per day. Out of this 180 liters, only 1.5 liters is excreted in the form of urine, and the remaining 178.5 liters is reabsorbed from the nephron through the peritubular capillaries and again added into the general circulation. So what is the use of this whole exercise? इस पूरी एक्सरसाइज का फ़ायदा क्या है कि हम 180 लीटर्स फ्लूइड जो है उसको फ़िल्टर करते हैं और फिर बाकी तमाम का तमाम रीअब्जॉर्ब कर लेते हैं और सिर्फ 1 लीटर या 1.5 लीटर जो है वो यूरिन में पास होता है. बेटे इसका फ़ायदा ये है दैट द ब्लड विच ऑल ऑफ द ब्लड ऑफ योर बॉडी मस्ट बी फिल्टर्ड थ्रू द किडनी, not required by your body, can be excreted out, can be sorted out and excreted in the urine. So all of the blood of your body must be filtered through the kidneys. And of course we cannot afford to lose such large volumes of fluid in the urine, so most of it is reabsorbed and only 1.5 liters is excreted in the form of urine. So this is very important. You must remember both the values of GFR. ये वाइवा में ज़रूर पूछी जाती हैं. If you are unable to answer the values of GFR, it is going to leave a very bad impression. So GFR per minute is around 125 ml and it is around 180 liters per day. So what are the determinants of GFR? If you recall filtration that we studied in the unit of circulation, you will remember that filtration is equal to filtration coefficient multiplied by net filtration pressure. So the same goes for GFR. GFR is also the glomerular filtration rate, and it depends upon the filtration coefficient and net filtration pressures present within the glomerular capillaries and the Bowman's capsule. So here we have the determinants. First is the net filtration pressure, and as we have already studied in the unit of circulation what is meant by net filtration pressure, it is a combination of four forces: two hydrostatic forces and two colloid osmotic forces. Now what is meant by hydrostatic forces? Just for a quick revision, hydrostatic force is the force of fluid which it exerts on the vessel walls while it passes through them. And as we already know that the vessel walls have pores within them, and these pores allow fluid to filter from the vessels into the extracellular or interstitial space. And if this hydrostatic pressure is very high, more fluid is going to filter out of the capillaries into the interstitial space. So this is the hydrostatic pressure, and this is how it affects the filtration. Second, we have the colloid osmotic pressure. Colloid osmotic pressure is exerted by the proteins present within your blood vessels. Proteins act like big sponges, and as you know that sponges are very absorbent and they try to absorb water. As you already know that if you use a sponge with which you wash your dishes, a dry sponge when placed over water can soak up all of the water. तो आपकी बॉडी के अंदर जो प्रोटीन्स हैं ये भी स्पंजेस की तरह एक्ट करती हैं, एंड दे ट्राई टू अट्रैक्ट वाटर टुवर्ड्स देम. सो the proteins which are present in your capillaries try to attract water and keep it within the blood vessels. So hydrostatic pressure is not only present within the glomerular capillaries, it is also present within the Bowman's capsule. Same is the case with the osmotic pressure. ठीक है, जहाँ पर fluid होगा वहाँ पर hydrostatic pressure ज़रूर होगा, और जहाँ पर proteins मौजूद होंगी वहाँ पर colloid osmotic pressure ज़रूर होगा. So this was just a quick review. If you do not have a total grasp on this concept, you can go back to the lectures of circulation and revise what is meant by the hydrostatic pressure and colloid osmotic pressure. So the sum of these four forces together is known as net filtration pressure. We'll be discussing them in further detail in our next slides. Second factor of which determines the glomerular filtration rate is the glomerular KF, filtration coefficient. And what is meant by the filtration coefficient? We have already discussed this in the unit of circulation, but we are still going to revise it in next slides. So together the formula for GFR is KF multiplied by net filtration pressure. So now let us discuss all of these in detail. So let us now discuss the four forces in detail and how they affect the GFR. First of all, we have the glomerular hydrostatic pressure. This is the pressure of fluid within the glomerular capillaries, and it tends to push fluid out of the glomerular capillaries into the Bowman capsule space. So this force promotes filtration. ठीक है, ये filtration cause करती है, promote करती है, और this is why it is denoted by a positive sign in the formula for net filtration pressure. ठीक है, net filtration pressure का formula जो है it can be written as the glomerular hydrostatic pressure, which has a positive sign, minus the hydrostatic pressure of Bowman's capsule, minus the colloid osmotic pressure of the glomerulus, plus the colloid osmotic pressure of the Bowman's capsule. So please do not be alarmed by the plus and negative signs. It is very simple. All the forces which are going to promote filtration will carry a positive sign, while those forces which promote reabsorption or which oppose filtration will carry a negative sign. तो इनको हम अभी डिटेल में स्टडी कर लेते हैं. So you do not need to worry about it. First of all, we have the glomerular hydrostatic pressure. As I mentioned before कि जो आपकी glomerular capillary है, इसके अंदर जो fluid है वो इन glomerular capillaries की walls के ऊपर एक pressure exert करता है, और ये pressure जितना ज़्यादा होगा fluid उतना ज़्यादा filter होकर glomerular capillaries से बाहर आएगा. So the glomerular hydrostatic pressure promotes filtration. Secondly, we have the Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure. So as I mentioned before, that around the glomerulus you have the Bowman's capsule, and Bowman's capsule also contains fluid. एंड एज इट इज़ लॉजिकल, और ये बहुत लॉजिकल सी बात है कि अगर ऑलरेडी बाहर फ्लूइड मौजूद होगा तो क्या ये फर्दर फ्लूइड को बाहर फिल्टर होने देगा? नहीं, इट इज़ गोइंग टू हिंडर फर्दर फिल्ट्रेशन, और इट इज़ गोइंग टू अपोज फिल्ट्रेशन फ्रॉम द ग्लोमेरुलस इनटू द Bowman's capsule. So the fluid which is present within the Bowman's capsule is going to oppose filtration of further fluid from the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule. So Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure is an opposing force. Thirdly, we have the glomerular capillary colloid osmotic pressure. The glomerular capillaries contain your blood, and as you know that blood contains large quantities of plasma proteins, and these plasma proteins are going to act like sponges, and they are going to oppose filtration, and they are going to try to keep the fluid within the glomerular capillaries. As I mentioned before, that proteins are, they exert strong osmotic pressures, and they tend to oppose filtration by attracting water and trying to keep water or fluid within the glomerular capillaries. Next we have Bowman's capsule colloid osmotic pressure. So your Bowman's capsule may also contain plasma protein, sorry, not plasma proteins, they may also contain random proteins, and these proteins are going to absorb water and try to keep the water towards themselves, and they are going to try to pull water or fluid from the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule. So if there are any proteins present within the Bowman's capsule, they are going to pull water or attract water from the glomerulus towards the Bowman's capsule, and they are going to promote filtration. But you must always remember that since the glomerular capillaries do not allow any plasma proteins to filter from the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule, ये हम पहले पढ़ चुके हैं कि प्लाज्मा प्रोटीन्स का साइज़ लार्ज होता है और उनके ऊपर नेगेटिव चार्ज होता है. सो बिकॉज ऑफ द लार्ज साइज एंड नेगेटिव साइन, द प्लाज्मा प्रोटीन्स कैन नॉट फिल्टर फ्रॉम द ग्लोमेरुलर कैपिलरीज एंड एंटर द Bowman capsule. So there are no proteins, literally no proteins present within the Bowman's capsule. So the Bowman's capsule colloid osmotic pressure is 0. But if due to any pathological reason there were present any proteins within the Bowman's capsule, they would cause filtration. ठीक है, तो आपको ये बात समझ आ गई. अभी इनको हम दोबारा रिवाइज करेंगे. Here let me explain again. We have 4 forces, 2 hydrostatic forces and 2 colloid osmotic forces. First we have the glomerular hydrostatic pressure. This is your glomerular capillary and this is your Bowman's capsule. So the blood which is coming through the efferent arterioles into the capillaries is going to exert hydrostatic pressure on the walls, and this is going to cause filtration of fluid from the capillaries into the Bowman capsule. So glomerular hydrostatic pressure promotes filtration, as you can see from the arrow over here. And your Bowman's capsule also contains fluid, and it is very logical that any fluid which is present outside in the Bowman's capsule will not allow further fluid to be filtered from the glomerular capillaries into the Bowman's capsule. So any fluid which is present in the Bowman's capsule is going to oppose filtration. So Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure is going to oppose filtration, as you can see from the arrow which is pointed inwards. Then we have the osmotic pressures. The osmotic pressures within the glomerular capillaries is because of the plasma proteins, and the plasma proteins tend to keep the fluid within the glomerular capillaries and they oppose filtration, as you can see from the arrow inward, pointing inward. then normally there are no proteins present in the Bowman's capsule. Why? Because no proteins filter from the glomerular capillaries into the Bowman's capsule because of their large size and negative charge. So the Bowman's capsule colloid osmotic pressure is always 0 in a normal healthy person. But if in any abnormal condition proteins appear within the Bowman's capsule and are leaked from the glomerular capillaries and they are present within the Bowman's capsule, they are going to cause filtration of fluid from the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule. So I hope you understood what are the four forces and how they act. So let us now discuss the numerical values. The hydrostatic pressure, mean hydrostatic pressure of the glomerular capillaries is around 60 millimeter mercury. The osmotic pressure exerted by the proteins present within the glomerular capillaries is around 32 millimeter mercury, whereas the hydrostatic pressure of the fluid present within the Bowman's capsule is around 18 millimeter mercury. So all the arrows which are pointing towards the glomerular capillaries are actually opposing filtration, so they will carry a negative sign, whereas the forces which are promoting filtration will carry a positive sign. So to calculate net filtration pressure, which is around which can be calculated by the sum of all of these forces, you will add a positive sign to the filtering forces and you will add a negative sign to the forces which are opposing filtration. So according to this formula, the net filtration pressure can be calculated by subtracting Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure and glomerular oncotic pressure from the glomerular hydrostatic pressure, and it amounts to around 10 millimeter mercury. ठीक है, all the outward forces minus the inward forces is going to give you the net filtration pressure. To better understand this, let's move on to this slide here. The forces which are favoring filtration are the glomerular hydrostatic pressure, that is the pressure of the fluid within the glomerular capillaries. It is around 60 millimeter mercury. And the Bowman's capsule colloid osmotic pressure, that is if any proteins are present within the Bowman's capsule, but we know that normally no proteins are present within the Bowman's capsule, so this pressure is going to be 0. Now let us see the forces which are opposing filtration. So the first force which opposes filtration is the fluid which is present within the Bowman's capsule, and the hydrostatic pressure of the fluid within the Bowman's capsule is around 18 millimeter mercury. And the second opposing force is the glomerular capillary colloid osmotic pressure, which is exerted by the proteins which are present in the glomerular capillaries. So the outward forces minus inward forces is going to give you the net filtration pressure, which is around 10 millimeter mercury. I hope you understood this very important concept, and you must remember the values and the forces, whether they are inward or outward, and you must remember the calculation of the net filtration pressure. So here you have successfully calculated the value of your net filtration pressure. So let us see now how this is applied to the knowledge of GFR and how we can calculate filtration coefficient with the help of this value. Now it is a well-known fact that if Kf is increased, the GFR is also increased, because according to the formula, GFR is directly proportional to Kf. So what is meant by Kf? It is filtration coefficient, and it is the product of the permeability and surface area of glomerular capillaries. So it is almost constant in normal healthy people. It is the sum of all of your glomerular capillaries of all 2 million nephrons of both of your kidneys. So not only it is the sum of all your glomerular capillary membrane surface areas, but also the product of the surface area with the permeability of these glomerular capillaries. ठीक है, तो आपका जो KF है ये एक कांस्टेंट है और ये किस चीज़ पर डिपेंड करता है? इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द टोटल surface area of your glomerular capillaries of both your kidneys, and also this surface area is multiplied by the permeability of these glomerular capillaries. Now what is meant by permeability? It is the number and size of pores which are present in the glomerular capillaries. So to calculate your filtration coefficient, you need to multiply your surface area of all the glomerular capillaries present in both of your kidneys with the permeability of these capillaries, and the permeability obviously depends upon the number and size of pores in all of your glomerular capillaries. So this is filtration coefficient. This is not a difficult concept, but students are often confused about filtration coefficient. ये मैं आपको दोबारा बताती हूँ कि filtration coefficient जो है ये एक constant value है, एक healthy person के अंदर ये constant होती है. It depends upon the total surface area of all your glomerular capillaries multiplied by the permeability of all of those capillaries, and this permeability of course depends upon the size and numbers of pores present in those capillaries. It cannot be measured directly. Of course, you cannot measure your filtration coefficient directly. You cannot calculate the surface area of all of your glomerular capillaries and count the pores present within them. So they are the KF is determined indirectly through numerical formulas and values. We already know that GFR is equal to KF multiplied by net filtration pressure. If we rearrange this formula, we get another form of this formula in which KF is equal to GFR divided by net filtration pressure, and we just calculated the net filtration pressure in our previous slide, which came out to be around 10 millimeter mercury, and we already know that the GFR amounts to around 125 mLs per minute. So if we have this information, can we calculate the KF? Yes, of course we can. So let's do it. KF is equal to 125 mLs per minute GFR divided by 10 millimeter mercury filtration pressure. So the value of KF in a normal person with normal healthy kidneys comes out to be around 12.5 mLs per minute per millimeter mercury for 300 grams of kidney. You know that both your kidneys are around 300 grams. So if you need to calculate the value of KF for 100 gram per 100 grams of kidney weight, you can divide this value by 3. So what you get is around 4.2 ml per minute per millimeter mercury per 100 grams of kidney weight. So I hope you understood the concept of KF. So the KF of glomerular capillaries is 400 times higher than the KF of capillaries elsewhere in the body. The reason for this is that you already know that the glomerular capillaries have larger pores and a greater number of pores within them, and we discussed this when we studied the types of blood vessels in the unit of circulation. In the initial chapters, you studied the the difference between glomerular capillaries and normal capillaries which are present elsewhere in the body. And since the kidneys have to filter everything which is present within the blood, of course, except the plasma proteins, so the pores within the glomerular capillaries of the kidneys are very large. For this reason, the KF of glomerular capillaries is very high. There are some diseases which can affect the KF of the kidneys, filtration coefficient of the kidneys, and they do this by reducing the number of functional glomerular capillaries. There are many diseases like diabetes mellitus and hypertension. Hypertension means high blood pressure, which can destroy the glomerular capillaries of your kidneys, which leads to decreased filtration coefficient. And secondly, these diseases can also cause thickening of your glomerular capillaries and reduce their permeability. So, the example of such diseases is chronic hypertension, diabetes mellitus, pyelonephritis, and glomerulonephritis. Such infections may also reduce your KF. Now let us discuss the abnormalities of each of these forces involved in the filtration and see how they affect the net filtration pressure. So let us first discuss the effect of Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure on GFR. As you already know, it is the pressure of the fluid which is present in the Bowman's capsule and it opposes filtration. Normally it is 18 millimeter mercury, but when this pressure rises to greater values, it is going to oppose filtration and it is greatly going to reduce GFR. So what are the causes or conditions in which the Bowman's capsule pressure is increased? As you already know that the Bowman's capsule extends into the proximal convoluted tubule, loop of Henle, and distal convoluted tubule, and then it drains into the collecting ducts and collecting tubules, and all the collecting ducts from all the nephrons of the kidneys then open into the renal pelvis, and the renal pelvis then forms the ureter, which opens into the bladder, and the bladder then opens into the exterior through urethra. So if there is obstruction in this pathway, anywhere in this pathway, for example within the urethra due to a stone, or because in the bladder because of a stone, or if there is a stone present within the ureter or within the renal pelvis, this is going to cause obstruction of fluid, and the fluid is not going to pass from the kidneys into the exterior through the urethra or during urination. This fluid is going to accumulate behind the obstruction, and it is going to accumulate in the renal pelvis. It is going to cause a backlog of fluid in the nephrons, and this is going to raise the Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure. I hope you understood this concept. Let me repeat again that the Bowman's capsule empties into the renal pelvis, and the renal pelvis which is made up of major calyces forms the ureter, and ureter opens into the bladder, and the bladder opens in the exterior through urethra. So if there is an obstruction in the form of renal stones in the form of stones within the urethra or within the bladder or in the ureter, this is going to cause an obstruction to the fluid, and the fluid is going to accumulate within the kidneys, and this fluid is also going to accumulate within the Bowman's capsule and raise the pressure from 18 millimeter mercury to higher values, and these higher values are going to oppose filtration and reduce the GFR. So if GFR is reduced because of raised Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure, it is probably due to any obstruction in the outflow of the urinary tract. It can be due to stones, like calcium or uric acid stones, and it can also be due to obstruction of the ureters or urethra or bladder caused by any cancerous growth. ठीक है, तो अगर आपको सिनेरियो आए कि किसी इंसान का GFR रिड्यूस्ड है और उसके अंदर हिस्ट्री है ऑफ रीनल स्टोन्स और ट्यूमर और कैंसर ऑफ द ब्लैडर और यूरेथ्रा और यूरेटर्स, so which of the forces is disturbed in this person, तो आप mention करेंगे it is the Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure. This is a very common MCQ and it may also be asked during SEQs. So let us move on to the second force which affects the GFR. It is the glomerular colloid osmotic pressure, and it is because of proteins, plasma proteins, which are present within your glomerular capillaries. These proteins try to keep the fluid within the glomerular capillaries and they oppose filtration. They exert about 32 millimeter mercury of pressure, and this pressure is inward. It is an inward force which is opposing filtration. So they help in keeping the fluid within the glomerular capillaries, and whenever the number of plasma proteins is reduced, there is going to be not enough proteins present within the glomerular capillaries to effectively hold fluid within the glomerular capillaries, and the GFR is going to increase. ठीक है, तो आपको ये बात समझ आ रही है कि प्लाज्मा प्रोटीन्स आर इन्वर्सली प्रोपोर्शनल टू GFR. ठीक है, when there are adequate number of plasma proteins within your glomerular capillaries, they are going to exert glomerular colloid osmotic pressure of 32 millimeter mercury and keep the fluid within the glomerular capillaries with the force of 32 millimeter mercuries. But if your plasma proteins are reduced because of any disease, your GFR is going to increase because there are not enough proteins within the glomerular capillaries to keep the fluid inside the glomerular capillaries, and it is going to filter out into the Bowman's capsule. And a very important condition in which your plasma proteins are reduced is the liver failure or chronic hepatic failure, because most of your plasma proteins are formed within your liver, and when your liver is not working properly, it is not going to form plasma proteins, and in such people the GFR is very much raised. So if they ask you this question that a person who is suffering from hepatic failure has very high GFR, which of the forces from the net filtration pressure is disturbed, so you will mention that the glomerular colloid osmotic pressure is reduced because the proteins are formed within the liver and the liver is not functioning properly. Less number of proteins are present within the glomerular capillaries and the pressure being exerted is less than 32 millimeter mercury. They cannot keep the fluid within the glomerular capillaries and it filters out into the Bowman's capsule. So this is an abnormality in which the GFR is reduced because of decreased plasma proteins. But you must also remember a very important phenomena, which is a normal natural phenomena of how the plasma colloid osmotic pressure exerts its force against filtration. So as you know that the blood which enters the glomerulus comes from the afferent arterioles and leaves through the efferent arterioles. The end which is closer to the afferent arterioles has very high hydrostatic pressure. So when the blood enters into the glomerulus, it is filtered because of high hydrostatic pressure, and you know that proteins cannot be filtered. These proteins will be left behind, and as the blood moves towards the efferent arterioles, the concentration of proteins will be higher as compared to the end closer to the afferent arterioles. ठीक है, ये बात आपको समझ आ रही है कि जब blood enter होता है from the afferent arterioles, it is filtered, and the proteins which were present within the blood cannot be filtered, and by the time the blood is closer to the efferent arterioles in the capillary end, which is closer to the efferent arterioles, here the fluid which is proteins which are left behind are going to be in higher concentration. क्यों? क्योंकि fluid filter out हो गया, पीछे जो proteins रह गई वो ज़्यादा concentrated होंगी. ठीक है, तो इस तरह ये प्रोटीन्स जो हैं ये एक फोर्स एक्सर्ट करती हैं ऑन द फ्लूइड एंड डज नॉट अलाउ फर्दर फिल्ट्रेशन ऑफ फ्लूइड व्हेन इट इज़ closer to the efferent arterioles. So this is the normal phenomena which is taking place in your nephron at all the times. So let me revise. As the blood passes from the efferent arterioles towards the efferent arterioles, the plasma protein concentration increases to around 20 millimeter mercury. Why? Because fluid is filtered out and the proteins are left behind. ठीक है, the reason is the fluid in the capillaries filters into the Bowman's capsules, thereby concentrating the glomerular plasma proteins which are not filtered. So this is a normal phenomena which is taking place within your nephron. और as for the abnormal phenomena, वो मैंने आपको बता दिया है कि अगर ये filtration बहुत ज़्यादा हो किसी भी वजह से, कोई ऐसे फैक्टर्स हों जो ग्लोमेरुलर हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर को इंक्रीज़ कर दें, तो ज़्यादा फ्लूइड बाहर की तरफ फ़िल्टर आउट हो जाएगा और बहुत ज़्यादा कंसनट्रेशन पीछे प्रोटीन्स की रह जाएगी, विच में कॉज एन एबनॉर्मल अपोजिंग फोर्स ग्रेटर दैन 32 मिलीमीटर मर्करी. और इस फोर्स के रिड्यूस होने की एक कॉज जो है दैट इज़ द हेपेटिक फेलियर विच आई ऑलरेडी मैंशनड, इन विच नॉट इनफ प्रोटीन्स आर फॉर्म्ड. So let us now move on to another force which is one of the most important forces, the glomerular capillary hydrostatic pressure, which is around 60 millimeter mercury. It is the force which the blood exerts on the glomerular capillary wall, and it depends on the blood pressure which is within your body. ठीक है, जो आपका blood pressure है, जिस फोर्स से हार्ट पंप कर रहा है और आपकी आर्टरीज की क्या स्टेट है, वो डिटर्मिन करेगी कि आपकी ग्लोमेरुलर हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर कितना है. सो व्हेन एवर द हाइड्रोस्टैटिक प्रेशर इज़ इंक्रीज्ड, द फिल्ट्रेशन इज़ इंक्रीज्ड, एंड व्हेन ग्लोमेरुलर हाइड्रोस्टैटिक pressure decreases, the filtration decreases. So it is determined by your arterial pressure, it is determined by your efferent arteriolar resistance, and it is determined by your efferent arteriolar resistance. What does this mean? अगर हम efferent arteriole की resistance कम कर दें और इसको dilate कर दें, so there is going to be a huge quantity of blood which is going to enter the glomerular capillaries, which is going to raise the glomerular capillary hydrostatic pressure. But if we constrict the efferent arteriole, the blood coming to the glomerular capillaries is going to be reduced and the pressure is also going to be reduced. As you know that flow is directly proportional to pressure according to the formula of Ohm's law, F is equal to delta P over R. So if you dilate the efferent arteriole, the flow is going to increase and the pressure is also going to increase. But if you constrict the efferent arteriole, the flow is going to decrease and the pressure is also going to decrease. But the opposite is true for the efferent arteriole. If we constrict the efferent arteriole, blood is going to accumulate within the glomerular capillaries and it is going to increase your glomerular hydrostatic pressure. But if you dilate the efferent arterioles, the blood is going to pass easily through the glomerular capillaries and the pressure within the glomerular capillaries will fall. So to sum it up, your arterial pressure is directly proportional to your GFR. Your efferent arteriolar resistance is inversely proportional to your GFR. If you increase your efferent arteriolar resistance, it is going to reduce your glomerular hydrostatic pressure. And if your efferent arteriolar resistance is directly proportional to GFR, if you increase the resistance in the efferent arteriole by constricting it, it is going to increase the hydrostatic pressure within the glomerular capillaries and increase the glomerular filtration. So I hope you got this very important concept. So finally we have this very interesting slide. अगर आप इस slide को गौर से देख लें तो you can understand all the concept of net filtration pressure and GFR, and you can attempt any question related to the net filtration pressure and the situations in which the net filtration pressures are altered, and the conditions which lead to decrease and increase in GFR because of changes in these net filtration pressures. So first of all, here you can see that the efferent arteriole breaks down into the glomerular capillaries, which then form the efferent arterioles, and the force of fluid within the glomerular capillaries is represented by plasma hydrostatic pressure, which is an outward force, and it is denoted by this green arrow. Its value is around 60 millimeter mercury in a normal person. It is increased in a person suffering from hypertension. So when the arterial pressure is increased in a person suffering from hypertension, the hydrostatic pressure of the glomerular capillaries also increases. And another condition in which the plasma hydrostatic pressure is increased is when there is dilation of efferent arteriole, and a lot of blood flows into the glomerulus and exerts greater than normal pressure on the glomerular capillary wall. This will also increase the plasma hydrostatic pressure. So one condition is hypertension, another is the dilation of efferent arteriole. The plasma hydrostatic pressure will be decreased when there is constriction of efferent arteriole, and this is seen in sympathetic activation. Whenever there is sympathetic activation, there is going to be release of norepinephrine and epinephrine, which are going to constrict the efferent arterioles, and the blood coming to the glomerular capillaries will be less than normal, and your plasma hydrostatic pressure will be less than normal, and GFR will be reduced. And opposite to the efferent arteriole, we have the efferent arteriole. Whenever there is constriction of efferent arteriole, blood will accumulate in the glomerular capillaries and the hydrostatic pressure will increase, and the conditions in which the efferent arterioles are constricted is the release of angiotensin II. So angiotensin II acts on the efferent arterioles and constricts it and causes increase in hydrostatic pressure, thus resulting in increase in GFR. So secondly, we have the plasma oncotic pressure, which has a value of around 32 millimeter mercury, and it depends upon the plasma proteins. This pressure is decreased in conditions in which the liver is damaged, because liver is responsible for making your plasma proteins, and whenever there is hypoalbuminemia, especially in hepatic failure, the plasma oncotic pressure is going to decrease, and it is not going to be able to keep your fluid within the glomerular capillaries, and the filtration is going to increase. Another situation in which the plasma proteins are reduced within the glomerular capillaries is renal failure or renal damage. Whenever the glomerular capillary is damaged, it loses its proteins, plasma proteins, into the Bowman's capsule, and this reduces the plasma oncotic pressure. So in hepatic failure and in renal failure, the plasma oncotic pressure is going to decrease. Thirdly, we have the Bowman hydrostatic pressure, which is also an opposing force, and it has a magnitude of around 18 millimeter mercury, and it may be increased in obstruction of your urinary pathway, such as in stones or cancers of urethra, bladder, ureter, etc. And this is going to raise the hydrostatic pressure, which is going to oppose filtration and reduce GFR. Another force which is normally absent in a healthy kidney is the Bowman's oncotic pressure, because in a healthy kidney no proteins are present in the Bowman's capsule. This is because of the negative charge proteins, which is repelled by the negative charge of the negative charge of the epithelial membrane, and proteins cannot filter out into the Bowman's capsule. But if there is any situation in which the negative charge of the epithelial membrane is lost, the proteins are going to be filtered into the Bowman's capsule, and such an example is minimal change disease. So now you can attempt any scenario related to the net filtration pressures of the within the glomerulus and the Bowman's capsule.